In this video, I want to talk about Spirograph and how you can make your own quilt designs using a Spirograph. Now, I do a lot of quilting, and I have many stencils like this, and they're very nice. They're laser cut stencils. They come in all different sizes and designs, and they're great. But let's say you want to make your own design. These run probably the small ones are like $3 a piece. Some of the larger ones can be $10 a piece. I have one stencil, or a couple of them, that will go about 3 feet on the side of a quilt for a border. So some can be expensive. They're about $3 a piece. This is a travel Spirograph, which is about $10 at Walmart, and I've been using it to do art designs on paper, and I'm going to expand that a little bit and do designs on quilt blocks. And let me tell you how I'm going to do that. I have pre-cut several 3x3 inch squares, and the reason I've done that is because this particular Spirograph set comes with and takes refills of 3 inch by 3 inch post-it notes. So 3x3 is the size for the travel Spirograph. The other thing you will need if you're doing this is an Aunt Martha's iron-on transfer pencil. And there may be other brands, but this is Aunt Martha's, and it's a red, specially formulated wax pencil. And what I have done, as you can see, is a very simple, fairly simple design on the Spirograph in the red pencil. Now, what I can do, and what I'll be doing next, is taking this out of here. When you're not using a sticky note and you're using your own paper, it helps to tape the paper in place so it doesn't move around. And I'll just show you how this opens up. And you can see I've got my design taped right there to hold it in place. I will now take this off of here, and the way that you use a transfer pencil is simple. You just transfer it with an iron. Now, I have obviously my big steam iron. I also have a miniature iron that's like a curling iron with an ironing tip, and it's made for ironing doll clothes. So if you're traveling, you can even use one of those. But you basically take your design, place it face down on your fabric, and iron the back of the fabric, and the design will transfer to your fabric. And then I plan on hand quilting. And the only thing I would recommend, some Spirograph designs can be very involved, but once you get familiar, this comes with a total of 6 design wheels or shapes. And once you get familiar with the shapes that they do, and that's illustrated in the booklet that comes with it, then you can choose how to make a very simple design. I'm sorry, the lighting is casting a shadow like that. So now I can do, I'm working on a black and white quilt like this with squares. And if I want to, I can now take this one design, transfer it to all the squares, and have the same design pre-printed on the squares, and then I can work on the quilt anywhere and not have to worry about taking a stencil and pounce and chalk and all of that. And the pencil only comes in red, and the only thing I'm not sure of is how it washes out. I'd have to get the package out and read the directions. So in my case, I would probably do black quilting on white for this particular quilt. But if I did red quilting on the white, then if all of the pencil doesn't wash out afterward, then it wouldn't be a problem. So you have to think of that when you're designing your quilt, and when you buy the transfer pencil, you would want to read the directions on how you remove it. It might be in the cross-stitch section of a fabric store, because it's mainly sold with cross-stitch materials. You could also use a chalk pencil, almost any kind of marking pencil, but the advantage to using the red transfer pencil is that once you iron it on there, it's not going to come off like chalk would. Now, you can see on this design, when I started making the design, I got a little bit of an extra line there. So that will now show up on all my designs unless I take a little piece of tape and block that off. The other thing I can do, if you want to use one particular design, what I would do is, after you transfer it about, say, 7 or 8 times, then take the red pencil again and go over the design again very carefully, and just build up that wax again so you don't use up all of your transfer before you get it to all your blocks. But I love the Spirograph for making designs of all kinds. And like I said, this is only $10. I use it for a lot of different things so far, but what this will do will allow me to make a design and then use that as a design. The initial cost for the Spirograph, as I said, is about $10. A package of 2 pencils is probably $3 or $4. So that's $14, but it gives you unlimited design possibilities for your quilt, where the stencils and the chalk and the pounce are more expensive. The stencils are $3 a piece. This is a pounce pad, which I paid about $10 a piece. So there is your same $14 about. But you have chalk, which will easily come off as you're working, and you only have one design. For the same amount of money, you have unlimited designs and a way to keep it on there if you want to be portable with your work. So another way to use the Spirograph and take your own designs and put them on your quilt.